Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the L-sit in the core piece that we have. So you have some flutter kicks, bed ball sit-ups, and then a max hold in an L-sit. Now, for an L-sit, I want to talk about what the shoulders are doing and then what the lower half of the body's doing as well. So full body exercise, think of it as a core exercise. However, the shoulders are working, the hip flexors are working, all as well with the core. So for the shoulders, we have movements of the shoulder girdle that you're going to see here. You have elevation and depression. So when you're in the L-sit, you don't necessarily want your shoulders to be in that elevated position where they're shrugged up and your shoulders are close to your ears. You're going to think about pushing down into the pirouette bars. So this is me in depression, I'm pushing down. This is me in elevation. So I automatically lose a ton of tension with my shoulders being shrugged up to my ears. Make sure you're being active about pushing down. Now the lower half of the body, faults that I see is a bent leg, no tension. You should think about squeezing the quads, pointing the toes. This is going to help you stay in that L position, and it's also going to translate to a lot of your other gymnastic movements, like a kipping pull-up, toes to bar, even your butterfly pull-ups, chest bar, bar muscle-up, stuff like that. Because when we're doing those movements, we're not approaching a kip swing with a bent leg like this. We're looking to have a pointed toe, quad is squeezed. So that's where you're generating power through that movement. So let that translate to this movement here. Now, if you haven't been practicing a lot with that toe point and squeeze quad on the L-sit, it's going to be really challenging at first. You're going to feel like your hip flexors are going to cramp even more than they maybe feel like they do when you're doing an L-sit. Just keep that in mind, but really focus on pointing the toe, squeezing the quad, all right? Scaling the L-sit, we're looking at a couple different options here. We can approach this with a tuck sit. However, with the tuck sit, you'll notice that my knees are higher than my hips, all right? I don't want to see this for a tuck sit. We're losing the engagement of the lower abdomen, which is what we're trying to work in that position. The other variation, this one's going to be a little bit harder than the tuck sit, but a little less demanding than both legs out. It's just that single leg variation. So I'm still going to make sure that when I get into that single leg variation, my tucked leg is higher than my knee is higher than my hip, and then my other leg, my quad is squeezed, my toes pointed. All right. All those variations can also be done on a box. It is a little bit more forgiving on a box because it gives your legs a little bit more room to drop if they are going to. But if you're working on the pirouettes, make sure you're trying to maintain that L position for as long as possible. All right. Strong cores today. Bye, guys.